Hello folks, welcome back, Spoon TV Live. We still here at the grounds of the Temple of Justice, where 4 lawmakers that have been charged by the Liberia National Police in relation to the December 18th Capitol building arson. These lawmakers have been brought to court after they spent approximately 24 hours in police custody. Those lawmakers, namely former Speaker J. Fonati Kofa, Jacob Dibi II, Abu Kamara, Dixon Sibo, Priscilla Cooper, and of course, we can report to you that District 5 Representative Priscilla Cooper was brought on the grounds of the Temple of Justice by her lawyer, Attorney George Kalando, but she left. She did not enter the Monrovia City Court. We can tell you that for sure. So only the 4 other lawmakers are currently in the city court. You can see that the police have stationed men before the main entrance of the city court, and there is another police position just before the gate of the Temple of Justice. We do see former Representative Moses Akaras Gray is here, but he's not been allowed entry into the courtroom, and whether or not those lawmakers will be taken to the Monrovia Central Prison known as South Beach, or better still, they will be granted bail and released to their lawyers. We cannot say, but the process is ongoing. The Monrovia City Court is opened, and we spoke with the chairman of the opposition CDC, Anthony Janga Cole, at the grounds of the Liberia National Police headquarters. And he did tell us that the accused lawmakers will be brought before court, but also said that their lead counsel, Councillor Safua Gray, was denied access to them. We did see family members of the accused lawmakers taking food and other personal effects to them. They were brought on board those police pickups that are currently parked there. They were brought in twos in those police pickups, and they're currently in the Monrovia City Court. The representatives currently before the Monrovia City Court include former Speaker J. Fonati Kofa, Representative Jacob Dibi II, Representative Dixon Sibo, and Representative Abu Bana Kamara. As to what will be their fate this afternoon, we cannot tell, but the legal process is on. So folks, we will remain live here. The police are stationed. There isn't the heavy presence of protesters or supporters. We'll go further towards the gate. And show you what it's like just before the gate of the Temple of Justice. Councillor George Kalando came along with his client, Representative Priscilla Cooper, but we've been informed that she has left as well and was told to return on Monday. As to whether these lawmakers will be released to their lawyers, subsequently to their family members to return on Monday, we cannot speak to that as well. That is why we are providing you this live coverage. My name is Diamond Slanger. It's a sunny day here, but with light drizzles of rain as well. And as calm and quiet as it is, this is not a quiet situation. There's been statements of condemnation, statements demanding unconditional releases, statements coming in from the opposition community. But The government has said they are following the investigative process, the criminal justice process, and if you charged and you forwarded to court, you can stand your bond for billable offenses, and all of the offenses herein are all billable offenses. But as to whether or not the court is going to grant bail, if it's actually a bail hearing or it is just an indictment being read for the accused to know what charges they have been indicted on, we are outside and will try our best to see if we can speak to them, if they can give us any words as they leave the court. When speaking to the chairman of the CDC, Janga Cole, he said that the accused lawmakers are in shock. But when speaking to Representative Gray, he said that they are in high spirits. And when they arrived, according to my colleagues, they were all smiles. They didn't wear frowns, and they looked upbeat. And they were walking with the police peacefully entering the court as well. So there hasn't been any form of showing of dumping spirit or down morale. No, these lawmakers, they know that whatever the case is, these offenses are billable. Even if they don't get out today, we're not saying they are not going to get out today. We do not know what the outcome will be today, but they will be given the best legal counsel. The best lawyers are going to argue their case, and this has got not just local eyes, but international eyes as well on this particular case. But as it stands, we will remain posted. We see the police are not flaunting or shaking their lines. They are making sure that the process is moving smoothly. We see supporters are trickling in, but entrance to this place, access to this place is strictly limited and granted to those who the police feel have got the clearance to enter this place. You see, the former representative Moses Akaras Gray has not been allowed inside the courtroom, but he's outside and has said he's here in solidarity with these lawmakers as well. When I asked him what is the official position of the CDC, he said the party is going to release a statement. They're going to have a strategic meeting at 2 p.m. as to what will be their position. But we will remain here bringing you all of the unfoldings. It's drizzling, and we will bring you all of what is unfolding here. So folks, we remain posted here at the Temple of Justice. All of the action is unfolding in the Monrovia City Court. That is where the 4 accused lawmakers are currently standing before the magistrate. So usually journalists will be allowed in the court, but not to do pictures and video recordings. But we've been asked not to. And as a seasoned judicial correspondent, people want to know what a court can usually open on Saturday.
They can open on Saturday. Court can open Saturday.
Okay, so you heard it, and close it at 12?
Sometimes, depend.
Okay. So for those of you who are wondering whether courts open on Saturday, yes, courts do open on Saturday. Depending on the nature of the case, they usually close 12, but depending on the nature of the case, they can remain open. So yes, the courts do open on Saturday, and we've gotten that confirmation from one of our judicial colleagues who covers the court and has got in-depth knowledge, as well as it was confirmed by former Representative Moses Akaris Gray. So for those of you wondering whether it is a special session of the court or anything of that sort, it's been said that the courts do open on Saturday. So we're here, and we will provide you all of the unfoldings. So we do see the legal counsel of Representative Priscilla Cooper, Councillor Josh Kalando, and he is holding in his hand legal documents. We'll see whether or not we can speak with Councillor Kalando, but he represents Representative Priscilla Cooper of District Number 5, who's also charged with multiple crimes as the others. So the charges against them include arson, criminal mischief, criminal facilitation, reckless endangerment, criminal attempt to commit murder, and criminal conspiracy. Those are the charges against the 5 lawmakers. And we'll see whether or not we can speak to Councillor Kalando, whether what he's holding in his hand is a writ of arrest or an indictment from the court. But we do see it stamped and all of that. But he's making calls, and we'll see after his calls if we can speak to him. But it seems like he's leaving. We'll schedule a time to speak with him, or better still, I can see if I can call him on the phone. Let me see if I can call him on the phone. Let me see if I can call Councillor Kalando on the phone and see if he can speak with us. So, folks, we were unable to get Councillor Josh Kalando on the phone to speak to why was his client, told to leave and come back on Monday, and he's got papers in his hands. We want to know what documents is he holding. There are rumors that the charges for Priscilla Cooper has been changed. We cannot speak to those rumors. That's why we want to call him and get in connection with him. So we are awaiting the outcome of what is being done in the court. We will provide you all of the unfolding, and in the instance where we have to get updates and make calls, we will mute the microphone. So please bear with us, but that is what we'll have to do once we have to make calls and get updates to be able to share with you during this particular happening that is unfolding here on the grounds of the Temple of Justice. So the 4 lawmakers were brought in on board police pickups. Those pickups brought in those lawmakers. You can see the top brows of the LNP. Some of the top brows are here. The charges against the 5 lawmakers, only 4 were brought here because Representative Priscilla Cooper was released to her lawyer last night. So the 4 that were brought here include former Speaker J. Fonati Kofa, Representative Abu Kamara, Representative Jacob Dibi II, and Representative Dixon Sibo. The charges are arson, criminal mischief, criminal facilitation, reckless endangerment, criminal attempt to commit murder, and criminal conspiracy. So we see the pickups are moving. These are the pickups that brought the lawmakers. They're moving, they're turning. So there is a likely indication that these lawmakers will be taken. As to where they will be taken, that is what we want to see. So the pickups are moving and they are coming to a standstill right here. So we want to remain posted and see where these lawmakers will be taken. Right here, Chief.
Right.
Well, you inform us now. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we are posted here at the Monrovia City Court and are waiting to see what will be the outcome, where these lawmakers will be taken. You see the police are forming their lines again. So where will they be transferred to? Representative Fonati Kofa, former House Speaker, Representative Abu Kamara, Representative Jacob Dibi. We see the court officers are coming. We see the hierarchy of the police exiting. So folks, the police forming their line. And folks, so the pickups are ready. The same pickups that brought them, the pickups are lined up. And we are bringing to you all of the unfolding, having been charged yesterday by the police on several counts, including arson. These lawmakers have had one of many encounters in court. We are waiting as they exit. You can see the police have formed their lines, holding their riot sticks with their shields, their helmets, but all eyes on the Monrovia City Court as these lawmakers are about to exit. Former Representative Moses Akaros Gray is here, but he's now sporting a more worried face. He's been on the phone since, and he's standing alone. But these lawmakers are about to be brought out. The media is positioned. The country is following. Local, international partners are watching. The process is on. So, folks, we're still awaiting the lawmakers accused to exit, and there they are. They are being brought out. They are about to be brought out. That was a false alarm. That was a false alarm. They are ready. We are ready. So they are coming out. They are coming out, folks. There is Attorney Councilor George Bobby Kalando, and they will be brought out. They will be brought out. When you do that and then you black it, oh, shit. Yeah, I give a small space too now, so we can see too. So the pickups are heavily guarded. You have officers left, right, center, all around. They have manned the positions of the pickups. We are waiting for the lawmakers to be brought out. These are all representatives who were elected in 2023. Majority of them are from the Rule of Law Caucus, or those who did caucus with former Speaker J. Fonati Kofa. The names are former Speaker J. Fonati Kofa, Abu Kamara, Dixon Sibo, Jacob Debbie. They are the ones who will be brought out. Priscilla Cooper, that's her lawyer, George Kalando, is saying on the grounds of the Temple of Justice. Again, the Monrovia City Court is the starting point of another landmark case. Remember, during the preliminary stages of the Gloria Musu Scott and others case, the murder case of the late Chalo Musu, it all started from the Monrovia City Court. Again, this court was the center of attention. This time around, it's about 5 lawmakers who will be going to court. As of the moment, 4 of them have slept in police custody, and they are currently here at the Monrovia City Court. My name is Diamond Slanger, wherever it is you're watching us from. Do share this podcast. Spoon TV, the media is well represented. We are awaiting for the representatives to be brought out. As to how they will be brought out, as they entered, they were not handcuffed. We want to make that clear that they were not handcuffed. They walked freely. They were all smiles. But as to how they will be brought out and where they will be taken, that is the next question. If they will speak to us, if they will answer some of our questions, we will see how that unfolds. They are coming out. They are coming out. Again, these guys keep giving us false alarms.
Yeah, actually,
These guys keep giving us false alarms.
they're streaming the camera.
Yeah, these guys keep giving us false alarm, but we'll be here. We'll be here. Whenever there is a significant movement at the door, we anticipate that the lawmakers will be brought out. As to where they will be taken, that is what we also will be following. Whether they will be taken to the Monrovia Central Prison, that is known as South Beach, just on Center Street. We will be following them as well. But they did spend the first night in police custody at the headquarters of the LNP. This morning we went there. We saw family members of the accused lawmakers, took them food, clothes. We did see people taking away blankets or comforter, if you want to put it that way. Or for those of you who call them duvet, they were taken out and they were then brought to the court. They were brought to the court on board police pickups. When they disembarked, they were all smiles. They walked into the courtroom, and we are awaiting how they will be exiting and where they will be taken to. Our eyes pinned on the entry of the Monrovia City Court. Police officers with stern faces, men in their posts. Those with automatic rifles are manning the door of the city court. There's an additional force at the gate. As to where we'll be headed to, others are hinting that the most likely destination will be South Beach. The engines of those police pickups are revving. From us where we are, we can hear the sounds of those vehicles' engines revving. They're ready. We can hear radio chatters, and we're waiting. So folks, bear with us as we remain posted. The process is on. The lawmakers have not yet exited the Monrovia City Court. We are waiting, and where they will be taken to, we cannot answer that, whether they will be released to their lawyers or they will be put on board those pickups that are ready. So those are the pickups, the pickups are ready and they are waiting. So if they were to be released to their lawyers, they wouldn't have need for these pickups, but we are waiting, and only a waiting game we can play at this moment. We have to wait and see what the next move will be. I can hear the gavel.
Yeah, that's the gavel.
That's the sound of the gavel. The gavel has been hit. As far as we are outside of the court, you can hear the sound of the gavel. The court has been adjourned.
They are coming.
They are coming. They are coming. The lawmakers are being brought out with a sheriff just before them. There is Dixon Sibo. He's making a call. Abu Kamara, Representative Kofa. Representative Kofa, did you use the toothbrush, sir? You used the toothbrush. Where are you headed to now, sir? You are headed to where, sir? Representative Kofa, Representative Kofa and the rest. Representative Kofa have said they're headed to South Beach. So they are headed to South Beach, folks. You listen to Representative Kofa. He says they are headed to South Beach. They've been put on board these pickups with the sheriff of the court there. So he said they are headed to South Beach, and you can see the number of manpower, the police making their way, the manpower, folks. The lawmakers are being bundled into the pickup. You can see the sheriff there. That is Dixon Sibo. Dixon Sibo in that pickup. He's been taken away. So 2-2, Jacob Debbie, Fonati Kofa, Jacob Debbie, Abu Kamara. They are being taken to the Monrovia Central Prison.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Master. But did you make any effort, sir? No. Did you make any effort, sir? Okay.
Upon the personal information,
And we have an issue where Abu Kamara exposure is very high. It's like 230. But I guess we have to take him to the Central Prison and they check his pressure there. In fact, they will send him. Hopefully, we can forward him to GFA for treatment. His pressure is extremely high. It's been that recent last night. So we're hoping that by the time we get there and we check his pressure, we'll send him to GFA for treatment.
I also want to know, why was Madam Procedure Cooper, Honorable Procedure Cooper, released? I saw her here, she and her husband.
When we can respond to that, you ask the Ministry of Justice or the prosecutor.
But she was here when they brought the other people.
We cannot speak to that. What we can speak to, we represented our clients in this matter, right?
Okay.
And we made an application to grant them an examination.
It is true that the judge also accepted bond from her, because we saw her husband with a fire issue.
I cannot speak to the co-defendant, Priscilla Cooper. We represented Abu Kamara, Fonati Kofa, Debbie, and Dixon Sibu.
Why is it that way, sir? Is that the legal process?
Well, that's a procedure, right? They could have for severance, separate trial. Each of the defendants will have a separate trial, and that's it.
What will you be
as it
pushing
is,
for
are they
next,
being charged
moving
as a
forward?
group, sir?
Sorry?
What will you be pushing for next, moving forward?
Acting for a speedy trial, consistent with their constitutional right, so as to have the trial procedurally, and then let them bring the evidence and then come to establish the case. They have the burden of proof. They remain with them until this matter is
Have they been denied bail entirely for this entire process, or it's just for this now? You've not made a bail application.
Are you hopeful that it could be up by Monday?
We're going to make an application. I cannot speak to that.
Anything else?
It's on discretion of the court.
Anything else you want to say before we leave you?
Well, the proceeding should go ahead, where we go through it, and then that's it. That's the law.
Your client seems not to be worried about what is going on.
Yeah, because they are innocent. The law says they are presumed innocent until the contrary is proved. So the state has the evidence. They need to come clear with the evidence and establish the case in court.
All right, sir.
That's it.
Thank you. Councillor Janata Masakwe, representing the co-defendants there. They've been taken to the Monrovia Central Prison, South Beach. That's where they've been taken. Representative Kofa, still wearing the same clothes as yesterday, same as Representative Abu Kamara, Dixon Sibo, and Jacob DB. The lawyer has said they will be back on Monday and they will make the application for a bail. So it's clear, according to Councillor Janata Masakwe, they have not made an application for a bail. That will be done on Monday, and the offenses, the charges are all bailable. And according to him, due to the stature of the individuals involved, they should have been released to their lawyers. Their personal reconnaissance should have been their lawyers. They should have been released, but they're going to South Beach. Honorable Gray, are you going to South Beach?
I don't know where to South Beach. Where do you think I'm going?
You'll be walking? Why are you going to South Beach?
Where you going to do what?
But you
Those are my family. Those are my people.
there are others who are saying you're using this to gain political relevance loss. What do you have to say about that?
My friend, that's their opinion. You know, we don't muffle free expression. So those who believe so, that's their business.
As you said yesterday that they were taken to the NSA headquarters. You
There's
saw
a
them coming from the
political
police.
case. I always
You saw
tell
them
you.
coming from the
Now,
police
there's a
headquarters.
you saw the
And
release- you saw the release, the
do you
Unity
still stand
Party.
by your statement
saw-
that they were
you-
taken to the NSA headquarters?
I said that last night. They were
Eh,
taken and brought this morning.
They were brought this morning?
Yeah.
So why were they taken
told you
after
they were
a
going to-
concluded
they were going to take them
investigation?
to Central
Why would the
Prison. I
police
said that
take them
last
to
night.
NSA when they were
Again, the
already
next
concluded
thing is
the
that to take
investigation?
their legislative seat from them. That's the next target.
But you as a
But
renowned
there's a
former
political case. I keep
legislator,
telling you, there's a political
will
case.
they retain their seat while they're facing trial?
Yes, yes. It's not strange. They have to be found guilty before any other thing.
Okay.
So it's
What
not
are
possible.
those accused Maracopa was seen in the court? Yeah.
Because a unity partisan. Did you see her in the court? It's a unity partisan, so you can see that it's targeted. That's why when we insist there's a political case, some of you will take it for granted. Okay? Why would you allow people to treat? For lawyer sound for her, but they only allow the CDC lawmakers to do the number.
There is a rumor that Speaker Kofa, former Speaker Kofa,
2 o'clock meeting with the political leaders, opposition political leaders. By 2 o'clock today, we will be there. So definitely the CDC will speak to them.
yeah, but as a law-abiding institution as the CDC is, will you provide additional support legally to your partisans?
Additional support. The lawyers are here because
Are the party sponsoring the lawyers?
The party is doing everything.
Are the party voting the legal bill?
Yeah. The party is doing everything right. I'm talking to you.
Is it the party that is supporting and paying the legal bill?
When you say the party paying the legal bill, I will not disclose, but I can tell you the party is involved into everything.
So you come in legal, you come in drive to Sub-Beach?
I'm going.
I thought we were having this conversation. I thought we were Sub-Beach. All right, so Honorable Gray is boarding the vehicle to go to South Beach. Yeah. And that is where we headed to, the Monrovia Central Prison, known as South Beach. We'll see if we can hitch a ride quickly and go there to bring you all of the coverage. So folks, there you have it. We will see if we can get on a bike quickly once we get to where bikes are designated to run. But Yanti,
Yeah.
you saw the process, and former Representative Gray has said the process is more political than legal. But we did see Representative Kofa and the rest. They didn't look deterred. They didn't look worried.
And in fact, he was the first person who broke the news that when you asked the question as to where they were headed, and he said they were going to the Monrovia Central Prison, they are going to prison. And surprisingly, yesterday we heard that there were 5 lawmakers who were charged by the by authority of the Liberian National Police, and today 4 were being brought here, while 1 person has been released. Other reportedly on bail because we saw Councillor Anthony George Kalano, who was here, especially he said that he was representing Procedure Cooper. But then we are only seeing 4 persons taken to the Monrovia Central Prison. But according to the lawyer, Councillor Jonathan Masakwa, who represented the lawmaker, said he have not made initial effort to file a bond for the lawmaker to be released. But he said that is the process. So they are actually taken to the Monrovia City Court, Central Prison. So it means that the lawmakers will actually spend the night behind bar at the Monrovia Central Prison up to Monday before initial effort can be made to have them released either through a bonfire by their lawyer.
Yeah, and that goes to defeat another argument that they were denied bond or bail. The Councillor Masakwe, said they didn't make any argument. They didn't put for the bill argument now. They didn't make an acquisition for a bill before the judge. So the clients were taken and read their charges against them and subsequently forwarded to the Monrovia Central Prison to be back on Monday. So former Speaker J. Fonati Kofa, Representative Dixon Sibo, Representative Abu Kamara, and Representative Jacob Dibi, they've all been taken to the Monrovia Central Prison, where we headed to see whether or not there is a mass gathering of supporters, or as we did see around the court, there wasn't a mass gathering of supporters. Rather, the police effortlessly took them in and took them to the Monrovia Central Prison. So folks, when we get to South Beach, we'll go live. We have to see if we can get on a bike or a keke, as it's noon here, to take us to the Monrovia Central Prison to continue this coverage from there. But the former speaker, having been ousted from his position, is now behind bars. He will remain there until Monday, when they shall return to the Monrovia City Court, where we will know their lawyers have said they will make an acquisition for a bill. So we'll end this live podcast here. Be able to get a keke to go to South Beach. Keke! South Beach, yeah? Yanti, now go. Alright, so we can see if we can remain live until we get to South Beach. Okay.
Maybe they remain on.
Yeah, I'll just remain on until we get to South Beach. So we're making our way to South Beach, and once we get there, we will continue on the coverage. It's just minutes away from here, but the lawmakers have already been taken in. As you watched, they were a police pickup, 2 pickups. Okay, there seems to be a serious gathering here, Yanti. Either it's a school that is, school that is doing their gala week. That is something again that it's a conversation for another day. That's a conversation again for another day. This whole issue of gala week and the disruption it causes